Can you tell Sky she's watching us on Facebook?
You're leaving background noise.
Hi, Sky.
Facebook her and say we're good. Oh crap!
Who just said, "Oh crap"?
I just said oh crap because I got out of the thing that I was supposed to be into. Who's tapping?
I'm not tapping the table.
Nobody's tapping.
I'm not touching the
Don't
table.
tap the table.
Nate
Okay.
Ortner's tapping
And we are
to several million people.
We are live, people. Live. Okay. And you ready
Hold on.
to turn that up?
I haven't told her we're going yet.
Do it. Okay, here we go. Here it is. This is it. Welcome to Season 2 of the Biz for Good Show with your hosts, Bobby Glenn James and Ryan Pilkington. The Biz for Good Show podcast is a fun and adventurous series that explores business, socialpreneurs, startups, nonprofits, and promotes that the true secret to success is love. Yeah. Welcome to the Biz for Good Show. I am your host, Bobby Glenn James, along with the Ryan Pilkington.
Whoa, we went totally French on that.
Yeah, I thought I'd just go for it this time. Welcome to episode 62. Good against the noise. Good against the noise.
Yeah, he's
Sorry, we
he's
just
all
got finished
pumped up
listening
right
to
now.
some Lizzie Borden.
Are we allowed to say that?
Lizzie Borden?
Somebody forgot to
I'm
get
just
Bobby's
talking about the
energy
axe
drink.
murderer, that's all.
No, the band.
I promise I did not. You have an energy drink today. Even though there's one right here, I did not have that. I'm just saying.
We're gonna have Lizzie on the background noise here.
We're gonna, okay, yeah, that I'm sure that won't hurt any copyrights.
No infringement whatsoever.
No infringement whatsoever.
And it will be really consistent with today's message, especially when Ryan just called it background noise, not background sound.
background.
So
did
that
you
was-
mean
didn't
to
I?
do that?
Uh-huh.
They
That
did.
was
Totally
not a slip.
purposeful.
Okay,
that was,
folks. Can I go off a little bit on our episode today? I just really feel strongly. Us four people, we talk about it all the time. And Jay really, what was it, over a year ago that you really, you did I saw you do a talk and you talked about all the noise in the world. And it just hit me how 1,000% you were so right. Everybody is trying to get above the noise so much that all they're doing is creating more.
That was a spectacular presentation, by the way. I
I
loved that.
I missed
It was over a year ago.
Did I miss it?
Yeah, it was over.
Wow.
It wasn't it over a year ago.
probably. Yeah.
Gosh, dang it! I hope I was there.
We still remember it. That's the crazy part. It was good.
I mean, I've been talking about the noise ever since because it is so true. Okay, you need to get rid of it, Lizzie. It's
Bye bye,
freaking me
Lizzie.
out. Good against the noise. Just got to do it
We're
one
just
last time.
getting you in the mood.
Yeah, that's good. So, but now we're serious. We're getting serious now, people. This is serious.
Put our
So-
wigs down.
Put our wigs down. Check it out. Me Against the World, Lizzie Borden, if you want to look that up on YouTube, if you're into your 80s hair bands. We were just talking. I was in a band, and we opened for them. And
It was all good.
It was a good experience.
And you had as much hair as they did, right?
Natural, real.
Absolutely.
I think you
Real.
had more-
Yeah,
I
I
think
had
you had-
definitely more than I have now.
You had more chest hair.
I definitely had more. Well, no, I think it falls off here and it just plants down there, and then it just grows bigger. Anyway, that's why you shave. I mean, I'm TMI. Why are we going there?
Wow.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
This is crazy.
This is creating noise right now.
This
man.
is
So
creepy.
let's bring it in. Ready?
Okay. All right. So me and Jay actually last week got in this giant with a few other people, this big discussion, and we're just hammering out how noisy the world is, and I believe it is a part of big problems today. Mm-hmm. The noise, and especially, and a couple days after that, I'm looking through Facebook and things like that, and everybody now, I think, feels that to get above the noise, I have to do something bad or crazy or talk about how bad somebody else is. I have to polarize the world.
So you're thinking
to-
viral.
Yeah, to go viral.
Virality.
Yeah, that.
Virality.
Yeah.
Virality.
I'm here to be the word guy today.
Viral.
Nice job.
Nice,
Really.
nice.
That was Kevin Taylor.
Kevin Taylor, ladies and gentlemen. Virality. Vital.
Whatever.
Virality.
Yeah. What do you
Anyway,
say?
just you will correct us anytime.
I'm just here to. Wait, where's the catering?
Amen.
It always
I don't-
comes
yeah.
back to the food.
Yeah, there
One of
is
these
never
days,
any
I'm going to
food
have
here.
like a turkey dinner right there. On
Okay.
we next time, or hamburgers or something. Yeah,
See, we're-
hot
That'll be
dogs.
4th Thursday in November,
Uh-huh.
right?
We're counting right now.
Absolutely.
Jimmy Jones.
So anyway, now that we fully off track again, so I told Ryan, what can we do? Because we were almost to the point of anything we do is going to add to the noise. I mean, that was our consensus last week, right? Anything we do.
So, being in that meeting last week and not starting in your conversation, but starting in a
'cause
different
you were,
conversation.
Right, you were in a different place.
I will tell you, it was kind of interesting that the conversation I was in almost became noise to me, even though I was in it. And it was a fun conversation. We were enjoying talking, but I wanted to know what was happening over in that other conversation.
Well, we were getting loud.
And you guys were going at it. You were having this conversation, and I was in a way stuck between which of these conversations is the noise. And it was an interesting challenge to be in, wanting to be in the conversation I was in, wanting to create more relationship there, wanting to take that further, but also having this nagging thought of, well, it's the social media concept of FOMO, fear of missing out.
Right.
It's like, what is going on over here? What is this conversation that I'm not a part of? And it's like both these great sources became a source of noise because I wanted to consume them both at the same time. And to me, I mean, when we talk noise, I think that's part of the problem. There can be a lot of good messages.
That's the problem.
What am I listening to? What am I not listening to? And how many am I being hit with at the same time?
And you can only listen to one thing. So this was my vision.
I got two ears, though. I mean, I can try.
Yeah, that's true. So my vision was there's nothing. Anything we do is gonna be a part of the noise. It's gonna be a part of the stuff. Now it could be really good, and there's such and you. I told you we were talking, and I said, "Man, I started rattling off these cool things that I watched, and Jay
Exceptional things that you were watching. Exceptional.
that I bawled at because I was watching because they were so cool and so moving, and I'm like, Jay, you gotta check these out and this out, and then Jay is all of a sudden his eyes are like, dude, you have overwhelmed me because I can't listen to all that stuff. Because I got cool stuff that I listen to too. And I almost felt like, okay, let's just turn off computers. Let's just move up in the mountains. Let's just quit.
It
We're
can
done.
be defeating. It can be defeating if you get trapped by the noise. If you feel the weight of the noise cave in on your shoulders. If we lose hope about our own message, it can be defeating.
Yeah.
So I talking noise, and the thought comes to mind is everything's noise. Trying to think, how can we create like a negative sound? How do we pull it back out? I was thinking back a few years ago to a Super Bowl ad that FedEx ran.
Oh, those are always good. They spend lots of money for those.
FedEx ad was 24 seconds of that color bar test screen.
Ooh.
Literally, the first 2/3 of their ad was just with that color bar test screen going on behind it. And right at the end, it said, there should have been an ad here, but they used a cut rate carrier instead of FedEx.
Yeah, I remember it.
And okay, so it's kind of crazy, but I'm thinking, how do you fight against the noise? They did. They were not trying to be cooler or louder than anything else. They put 24 seconds of dead air in the middle of the Super Bowl.
Here's the problem. What happens when everybody figures that out, and so everybody does that?
See, but they can't.
They can't just not do anything?
But I mean,
They did it
are
first.
there
did it
ways
first.
though you can do that with your message, that you can create something that, without adding to noise, brings people in? Because the problem is you can't just stop. You can't just. I mean, if FedEx had not put an ad on the air, nothing would have happened. You can't stop it. How do you pull out? How do you stop adding to noise? I think that's a big challenge that everybody's fighting for right now.
Okay. This is. Go ahead. I'm going to explode, so I'm going to sit here some more. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Well, sometime when I was in graphic design school, I started realizing, when you're going to school, you're learning about design, you're learning how they're doing their marketing ads, and
Sorry.
what are you doing?
Nothing. I just getting against the noise. I mean, me against the. No, I mean,
Bobby's just adding noise. That's all he's doing.
No, that was no noise. I was not making any noise. It was
Visual noise.
Oh, is that noise too?
Yeah.
Did I throw you off track?
Just
I'm
a
sorry.
little.
Okay, I'll
He
just
Ryan was in
stands
graphic
up and,
design studio.
You were in school.
He was studying.
And I don't know if you noticed this, but you're driving down the freeway, and I don't know, there's some billboards going down the road.
I've seen one or
Just
two.
one or two.
One or two.
And
Or 50.
they're more and more now we've got these digital billboards.
Yeah, boy.
So they're trying to do this. It's just boom, there's just so much stuff thrown at us, and then if you walk down a street, you've got the signs for the restaurants. So it's a world where we live in now, that it is what it is, right? We can't get rid of the world, we live in it. So you're going to have those signs, but I think what good against the noise for me means is there's so much rhetoric and naysayers and people that want to get their 5 seconds of fame and all this just rhetoric. I mean,
I believe it's why we have school shootings. Because they think they're going to get above the noise. They have no mission in life, no purpose, no message to give to the world except I'm going to make an impact the only way I know how, by
so
hurting
you're
other
saying-
people.
You're saying that that's their way of outletting.
I think they think they're going to be famous. And we give them that fame, and it's sad.
Although it's interesting, with the school shootings, you rarely remember who did it. You just remember the city.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even become the fame for the person.
I don't know. There's a few out there that really stick in my head.
But putting it back into business, I mean, there's a lot of business trying to chomp at the rhetoric, too.
Yes, which brings us to good against the noise. What does that mean? And can I tell you guys what it means to me?
Go for it.
Okay. So I believe after talking to last week, we got so heavy in this. I realized, guys, unless we move up into the mountains, we are adding to the noise. Period.
Right now.
Right
this
now.
moment.
Right now, we are adding to
We're
the noise.
one more voice. We're one more podcast.
voice. One more thing. The only choice we have is what kind of noise we're going to put out. Are we going to put out negative, damaging energy like so many people do to get above the noise for them? Or are we going to put out the best, the most connected, the most energy, love noise?
So you're saying
Which one's
be
better?
good, do good philosophy against the noise.
Against the noise. Correct. So my vision and my hope is that all of our guests are going to go out and spread the good against the noise word by promoting something they're doing or something that we're doing, like your event that you've got going on, which we should absolutely talk about. It's good against the noise, people. There's too many folks out there that don't know what their mission is in life, that don't know what they're going to do, and they latch on to negative stuff, and it drags them down. We watch TV, the media. It's just, let's hammer again. I'm saying it's a war. Good against the yucky crap in the world, because there's so many good people and there's so many good things. I mean, those shows that I was talking to you about, the Mike Rowe show that he has on Facebook now.
Oh, yeah.
Every time I watch that, I bawl my eyes out because it's so moving.
Right. Definitely.
We need to watch more stuff like that.
For sure.
And Will Smith, he's always on Facebook saying super positive, powerful things. And, he's Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, so what does he know? But he's awesome. He's amazing.
He's like the new motivational speaker.
I
right
know.
now.
He's a bad A, too. I love
He's taking
listening
it
to
on.
him. I love listening to him.
It's interesting because a lot of things he's saying is like the last 5 years of my life. Like, I've been learning. I'm like, wow, this is awesome.
We're on track.
I'm doing something right.
So anyway, for me, my vision was, Ryan, let's war it. And that, I know, I get it. It sounds negative. I mean, take it on in a beautiful, wonderful, loving, good way. Good against the noise.
I've thought about that a lot. Like when they say we're warriors, we're ninjas, we're soldiers for love, we're ninja. Like we had the Love True Crew on. They talked about soul ninjas. It's a way for us to identify that there is a real battle going on out there, and when you're in battle, you're a soldier, right? So why not just take it on? I thought about it. Like, why am I saying negative stuff against good stuff? That doesn't make any sense, right?
Right.
But it makes sense when you're in battle.
Let's face it, it's also fun.
And it's fun.
Warrior. I'm a warrior for good. Come on, we're guys. We're dudes here.
Yeah.
What do you think, Michelle? You love it? You love warrior stuff too? Go for it! We have got to get her a mic.
I see you've got the entire setup, but no mic for her. I mean,
know,
come
it's
on.
pathetic.
Do you need mine? I'm not saying much today.
She's voicing her opposition. I want everybody to know, but she has no mic. So, yeah, that was a setup.
She shook her head that she likes warrior stuff too. That the fight, the good fight. Why do we say fight the good fight? What does that mean?
Yeah.
It's extremely important, and I don't want to get off topic, but there's some great things to be thought when we think through what worth fighting for and what isn't. That's a big deal. There's a lot of things worth fighting for and a lot of things that we get to fight for, even though one could say, I'm a peacemaker. In my faith tradition, the leader, he spoke of something, we call it the Beatitudes, and he said, blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be the children of God. And there's some incredible power to that. But within that, we also have, what are we going to fight for? What are we going to do?
That's peace, that's a fight too.
Well,
Fight for peace.
It's interesting you look at the work Gandhi did. Peaceful resistance, but peaceful resistance was fighting.
He fought a war by sitting down and getting a whole nation
To
to
recognize.
sit down.
Yeah.
He overthrew a country by not fighting.
It was good against the noise.
It was absolute. I love Gandhi. That is one seriously powerful man.
Or, you can also look at the civil rights movement in the 60s.
Oh, absolutely.
That was focused on, the major leaders were saying, look, we can't stoop, we can't drop to the violence. The violence is being leveled against us. We can't drop to that. We've got to peacefully resist.
Martin Luther King, such amazing.
And one of his, great mantras was only love can do that. And that's one of the things of everything Martin Luther King Jr. said, that only love can do that.
So in my book, 8 Wisdoms, I got a Martin Luther King quote for the wisdom of love. Hatred paralyzes life, love releases it. Hatred confuses life, love harmonizes it. Hatred darkens life, love illuminates it. Nice. He was a warrior. He was absolutely a warrior.
So take that quote and kind of paraphrase it. Let's paraphrase it within this theme of good against the noise. So, hatred adds to the noise. Love cuts through it. Hatred confuses
Who's writing this
the
down?
message.
Oh, we're recording it.
Right? Love harmonizes it. Hatred, darkens life. Love or good illuminates it.
Oh my gosh, that is awesome. Okay, we're going to hashtag the crap out of all those things.
But it really fits. It really fits for
does.
this. And I think we're going to be on this good against the noise as far as not just a moment in time, but a movement. We're going to be about this for a long time. So I think definitionally, we really need to start out and be able to share for our listeners when we talk about noise, what it is we're talking about. And we're generally talking about the volume with which the world is spinning today. The volume of the media, the volume of the messages, the volume of the information, the volumes of the woulda, shoulda, couldas, the volume of the telling us what to do.
And all the screen time.
It's loud, it's noisy, and everything, whether it be Twitter, whether it be Facebook, whatever it might be, it's all a platform for amplification. Right, it adds volume to a message, and so just so definitionally, we're kind of on the same page. We're just talking about the world that we are doing business in today, the world we're living in today, the world we're raising children in today, the world we're trying to do good in today has never been more noisy. And in the noise, we're recognizing that every time we turn the volume up for our message, we add to the total volume of the world, of the universe. So we're talking about there is a noise, there is a component of the noise that is really loud right now, and that's negativity. That's what we're talking. We even have a word for these people. We call them haters, right? I mean, that is now a generally acceptable term. If I was to say in a speech or somewhere, and there's haters, we know who we're talking about. You know,
can scroll down Facebook and just hater after hater of each other. It's so sad. I mean, I got lots of friends on Facebook, and a lot of them I don't really know that well. But it amazes me how I can scroll. This one hates these people, and the one right under them hates those people. It's like, and they're both stupid people. You know, it dumbfounds me.
Yeah. And if we kept our opinion to ourselves, we wouldn't be adding to the noise or the volume. But when we express that opinion via social media, right, or via a content, an engagement, a comment or something, we're adding to the totality of the noise. So noise possibly isn't good or bad. It's just really, really, really loud. It's deafening. It's blinding us from the truth. It's blinding us from the illumination that comes from other good things. It's the negativity as a spectrum of the light, of a spectrum of the noise that is fighting and is louder than some of the other noise. So we are saying the way we are going to balance it out, the way we are going to be heard, right, is through this good against the noise. That spectrum of the noise that we're going to rise above with harmonious messages, with goodness, with inspiration, with hope, with love.
And you can have differences of opinions and differences of thoughts and still focus on the good stuff of your opinions and thought, not how yours is right and the other is bad. You could focus on what's good about what you're creating in this world.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. You look at politics, and whichever side of the aisle you're on, the other side is out to destroy the country. I'll do this, go to both sides just to be equal opportunity offender, but the other side is out to destroy the country. That's all they're trying to do, right? It's that polarization. So here's a crazy...
And they do that because they think they get above the noise by doing that.
So here's a crazy thought. I want to put out, I know you guys have never, ever in the history of us being together heard me talk about a magnetic message.
Whoa.
Okay, except for every time I stand up,
Except
right?
for all the time.
Here's a thought. Magnets use poles, polarizing, but maybe it's for a different purpose. Polarizing, to me, seems to be you're trying to convince people they're wrong.
Right.
Magnetizing is trying to tell people that you're right or what's good.
And attract them or influence them to that position.
Rather than trying to repel them from something else. And I wonder, is that...
that's good.
Does that tie in with what we're talking about, good against the noise?
Absolutely.
Are we trying to share, this is what's good about what I believe, and I'm going to let somebody else tell you what's good about what they believe, because I can't state their position as well as they can.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big piece of the noise, is we're trying to say what someone else believes, or tell what's wrong with what they think, and not saying what is good about where we stand.
So adding more good noise to another good noise.
And trying to
To
draw
make a
people,
tidal wave of good noise.
draw people to you,
tidal
don't
wave.
push them away from other.
Yeah, to bring us all together instead of push us apart.
And Ryan, you really are. I mean, this is just incredible stuff. But you're still hitting on it. There is noise out there, right? And I'm gonna suggest that a lot of the noise is being created by people who aren't thinking about this. They're not purposeful. They're just you got to be on Facebook. You got to advertise. You got to be in the media. You got to just be loud, right? And you got to have volume and more posts, more video, more something.
Yeah, because when you sit down as a business owner now, you're like, I got to do this social campaign. I got to do this marketing campaign. And then you've never done it before, so you're like, oh, I can do this better than this ad. I can do this better than this ad, and I can make it green or really bright purple or whatever and make it really flashy. I'm just using
for the purpose of just being noticed, for the purpose of just complying, for the purpose of just being a part. And we're suggesting that the noise is there, and we can choose still. There's a fight to lower the noise or cut through the noise. I think we really need to be clear. We still want to, some of our messages we want to be heard, but the way we go about it very specifically, is we can be
Slice
polarizing,
through the yucky stuff,
right? Or we can magnetize or influence people. There's a better way to do it. There's a way that is more harmonious, that's going to create more opportunities, more relationships, more understanding, and that's what
I'm so
talking
excited.
about.
This is so cool.
I got this thing happen last night for me. So I'm doing this event and I'm bringing people together, and there's another T-shirt company, and I got feedback that I don't want to step on your toes. You know, you're a T-shirt company. I'm a T-shirt. I said, no. You're about doing good. You know, they lost their son to suicide. They're trying to do it for a good cause and for their honor, their son. I said, you come out.
Absolutely.
And they were like, whoa. That's what I'm talking about here. Like,
That's good. That's good noise.
that's just adding.
That's good against the noise. I mean,
What's wrong? I mean, right? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm
But
right, I'm right.
that's a spirit of cooperation. You know, again, and think of business coaching, and there's different approaches to it. One of the approaches is consultative, right, where we cooperatively work together and we listen to create the results or create the plan. That's different than an authoritative approach, or that I'm right, you're wrong, or listen to what I have to say. I mean, so perhaps one of the things we also ought to be talking about, and again, we're not going to have time to go through this, but is listening to the good in the noise, or listening to for the good in the noise. You know, we're talking about the noise, we're talking about creating noise, but what about listening? What about creating a sacred space of listening? What about, like that FedEx ad created listen, right? The silence created listen. So let's challenge everyone not only to have good in their messaging, and not only to be creating positivity and magnetism influence for their message, but let's encourage people to listen quietly, thoughtfully, purposefully. What is being said? What is going on? Maybe I should listen to the whole message before I bark out. Who's listening? How do we create listen? That'll cut through the noise.
Hashtag listen.
No,
Listen.
truly, Bobby. There's your answer
like
from last
that.
week. It's not
Listen.
how do you cut through the noise. Maybe it really is
What
how
do
do
you
you create listen.
Deep. Wow.
And I think
that's another. Are we taking notes on all these hashtags that we're supposed to be doing?
the
well,
wordsmith Kevin
hashtag
is on
listen.
top of it. He's got
We have, Sky's writing it all down.
Oh, that's right. That's right. This guy's got it.
And I want to pose for next month's EFL360 Founders Roundtable. Let's talk about volume created 1 decibel at a time, or let's talk about building a brick building 1 brick at a time. As it applies to this, we're talking so much about. We started with viral, right? Big mass appeal, creating great big numbers, and trying to influence everybody at one time. I really think, in terms of creating listening and looking at things, we need to also be focusing on how we approach things, and it's okay to win people over 1 at a time. I don't have to
Not
storm the
1,000 at
city.
a time.
There's still good to be said about that.
Yep.
And we're kind of setting everybody up for, you got to have big numbers, you got to have big followers, you got to be big, it's got to be big, it's got to be big. Well, do you know there's great work being done in this world, one person at a time.
Absolutely.
And
And
I'd
if you
like
can
to
save
tee
a
that up
life, if you can connect one person that needed to hear
There's
your
lives
story.
being saved one
One
life
person.
at a time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's a really real work, but many of us are thinking of just in terms of numbers. I want to be the guy, Ryan. I want to be popular. I want to have the hits. I want to have the numbers. But what about the individual or the organization that's doing it 1 life at a time, 1 sale at a time, 1 client at a time, 1 patient at a time?
It makes and truthfully, it's more impactful when we talk about statistics. Let's say suicide statistics. They're huge. They're up between teenagers. I mean, millions. I don't know, millions, thousands. I don't know what the actual statistics are. But when we hear that, and it's because it's noise, unfortunately. But when I hear about the 1 boy that took his life, that impacts me hugely, hugely. Different than it does when we talk about statistics.
Oh, so a broader spectrum is you don't know how to fathom that, but that individual story.
Well, it's like anything, when you're everybody loves everybody in the foxhole, right? When you're in a
And you love God in a foxhole.
exactly. and I've always thought,
No
what's
atheists
sad?
there, right?
If I went across the foxhole to the enemy And we sat down, and there's been movies. I love the one where the American in World War II, the American and the Japanese guy are stranded on the island, and they start out trying to kill each other, and then a year they're there for a year or something, and they end up being best buddies. I don't remember what that movie was, but I think about it all the time. If we just got to know this person that we hate, we would probably love them.
And Kevin's wheels are going here, and I got to jump in. So I'm sorry, Kevin. This is so mean. It's terrible. Boom. It's like, okay, brotherly cutoff here. But Ryan, what you talk about in terms of trying to describe what Bobby mentioned is that when we talk about statistics, we talk about followers, we talk about tweets, we talk about Facebook likes. Behind every like and every tweet and every Twitter, there is a person.
Yeah.
And that's the difference, right? I mean, in terms of looking at that. So in terms of our messaging, of our reaching out, of our doing good, of being good against the noise, let's do it on an individual level, and let's not look at statistics and numbers. Let's look at real lives, real consumers, real people, real students. Yeah. What's the reality like? What's boots on the ground? What's life in the foxhole like? There's shitstorms out there.
Big time.
There are, and those individuals are not statistics. They're real people, real people. Customers, real clients.
That we would love if we got to know them. That we would love them like a sister or a brother.
Amen.
I'm thinking, Bobby, you were talking about these Facebook videos that blow up and get 10 million views. Here's the thing, though. When you talk about it, there's the one where that guy does...
blank, blank.
But it's always...
We don't want to go there?
That guy.
Not his name.
Who is that guy? No, it's that guy who, whatever it is in the video, compared to, oh my gosh, I follow this business. They're so amazing. It's fill in the blank of the name of the business. And they give me these cool things every day.
Like Mike Rowe.
Or Will Smith.
Yeah, or Will Smith.
You just did it. I mean, that's right.
Yep.
They're not doing these polarizing, insane things. They're just slowly going about. I think, Jay, that speaks to your one at a time versus
the noise.
Virality, which is just noise. It pops up, it raises the volume by 100 decibels, and it drops away so the next thing can show up and do the same.
I know that YouTube has changed their algorithm thingy where you have to reach so many now to even get paid.
Yeah.
So they're making it even more noisy.
So the vision is, with Good Against the Noise, that we get everybody on board to focus and connect with the good in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Be good, do good.
Be good, do good.
To connect in whatever way that is. It might be listening for the good. It might be adding to the good. It might be promoting, right? I mean, it doesn't have to look a certain way, but it is focusing on that spectrum of the noise, because there is good out there. And Bobby, for years, we've always shared this, but what's your good news? Right? What's your good news? I mean, having that space and that attitude, and we've all known trials in our lives, right? We've all known some serious trials, but in that still, we get to wake up, we get to look at things and say, Ryan, what's your good news?
Oh, I got lost.
What's your good news? And focus on that. There's probably a whole lot to that saying of we see what we look for.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So within the noise, too, if we are looking for the hate, looking for the haters and such like that, that's probably what we're going to see. Yeah. So our focus, we get to shift our focus. We get to look for the good. We get to be a part of the good. We get to wage against the haters, and we get to listen.
Love it.
Magnetize, too. Attract. Attract the good messages.
Hashtag, all of those things.
Right on.
Can anybody post on the Biz for Good show if they want?
On the Facebook page?
Yeah, on the Facebook page.
I don't know what the setting is for posting.
I don't know what the setting is either, but
we can change
it.
I
sure would like to have anybody, and we'll just kind of we could moderate it and see if we could get folks that's in the group, that's listeners, to post good stuff. Kevin's laughing. What are you thinking? You're like, oh my gosh, Bobby, you're opening the floodgates.
No, I love the idea. I'm just thinking... Everything we're talking about brings me back. My kids a couple years ago fell in love with the Disney movie Frozen, and there's the line where the snowman is talking about the huge snow palace guard thing, and he says, "Oh, we were just talking about you. All good things, all good things."
We're moderate.
Speaking of Kevin's two wonderful kids, my son Riley listens religiously every week. So shout out to Riley.
Oh,
Everybody.
Hey, Riley.
Riley.
What's up,
Go,
Riley?
Riley.
He texts
Thanks,
me
man.
always after the shows.
Hashtag
Riley.
we love Riley.
Yeah.
Hashtag
Hashtag.
love Riley.
Thank you.
Oh, we'll
that
start
was a
that.
shameless plug. Now, was that noise, or did I just cut through the noise individually?
I think you cut through the noise
Right on.
because you're acknowledging your son. That's
But he
freaking
knows
awesome.
their son, his son.
And he-
Yeah, and it's interesting though, because was that noise for let's see, 99.9% of the listeners? It could have been, but it reached one listener
Yeah.
as a pure, clear message, no noise involved. And maybe that's really what we
matters.
need to do.
Shout out to our fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go fans!
We wouldn't be doing this. We're just talking to ourselves.
We'd probably still talk to ourselves, but
Which is a lot of fun, by the way. I love talking to you guys.
we love having people on the show, the guests, you guys. I mean, it's a time to sit down. I mean, if one person listens and they got something out of it where it could help their business or help them, or let's jam out, people.
And those who do listen to the Biz for Good podcast, we appreciate you. We appreciate you listening. And hopefully there's some relatedness. Hopefully the people that listen are those that recognize and say, this isn't noise to me. This is something I want to hear. This is something that I can find some good in. It resonates with me. The message does.
Oh,
And
Riley's
that's what we're
on
trying
here.
to attract.
Hey, everyone. Thank you. You guys are the best. Your son.
Right on.
Right.
Okay, Riley. Did he really?
Not only does he listens live to the show. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Wow.
Brandon says, I only had time to watch for a minute, but this is good stuff. I can't wait for the podcast to drop so that I can get it all.
All right.
Wow.
Here we go.
See,
Awesome.
one person at a time.
Well, we got two there.
That's
Two.
two people.
Yeah, we got two people. That's awesome. Well, that was a good fade out you did just a minute ago, Michelle. I liked how it went. I'm sorry. No,
Well, from
I
behind
broke
the
it, but that's just awesome.
Yeah. Thanks,
That's
Riley.
super cool.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do a little bit of take it out for the day.
Good against the noise.
Anyways,
Is this it? Are we saying goodbye?
I guess so.
Okay.
All right,
been nice knowing you.
TTFN.
We'll see
Okay,
you
this
right on.
this is a teaser. Next month we're gonna hit it even harder, right,
Yeah.
guys?
Yeah.
Next month and we're gonna see where we're at on Good Against the Noise, the movement. We're gonna roll this, baby.
All right.
Let's get to the chorus.
So were we hashtagging Be Good Do Good or Good
Yeah.
Against the Noise today? I'm a little confused.
Oh,
Ryan?
wow, we didn't think that far, Ryan. It's
Let's
up to
try
you,
it
Ryan.
out. Let's
It's-
see what it sounds like. Good against the noise.
Should we just do it one time
Okay.
to end it? What do you guys think?
We'll try it.
Or
Let's do it.
are we three times? It's too much.
One time.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to the Biz for Good show. We had the EFL360 Founders Roundtable with Kevin, Jay, Bobby, me, Ryan, the Frenchy guy, apparently. All right, everybody. Hashtag. We're going to leave it with a Good Against the Noise. Hashtag
Good Against the Noise.
We made a lot of noise. That's a wrap.
My son will say, "Why do you scream in the mic?"